Rockies and the Rays. So Rays big favorites
Yes.
here, laying 200 at home. Well, home is relative, I guess, for the Rays. Total of 7.5. So what did you find here that you wanted to talk about?
It's a tradition unlike any other. It's fading the Rockies, Chelsea. Oh, that's what you
Correct.
do here. Here's my. I think I might play this. This is plus money. You can get the Rays on the run line at plus 115, and it won't be long before run line Jenkins is back because baseball is here, baby. Kyle Freeland. I mean, for the love of God, let's look at what he did last season. 5-8, an ERA of 5.24 on the road last season. 3-7, an ERA of 5.98. Opponents batting .313 against him. Also in spring training, ERA over 6. Unless something has changed, that Rockies bullpen is terrible, as we know. How many games did the Rockies lose late last season? And Ryan Pepio, last year, was his first season as a full-time starter. He had 26 starts, ERA of 3.60. Rays are at home. I know they're playing at the Yankees spring training home because of the trop and the damage there. But I'm going to fade Kyle Freeland here, and I'll take the Rays on the run line at plus 115.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to overlook Tampa Bay because, number one, they don't have really a home field. But remember, this is one of those scrappy organizations that it feels like they have a bunch of these no-name pitchers that like grow on trees that are just like 6'7" lefties that throw gas. So I don't know how they do it as an organization, but when you're going against the Rockies, where you mentioned it, we saw this trend last year. The Rockies sometimes had a chance when they were playing at home, but on the road, they were one of the worst teams in baseball. And they're one of the worst teams in baseball just overall. So I think if you're taking the run line, that would be a smart play. Just keep in mind when you do play the run line for home teams, it's a little sweaty towards the end because remember, if you're only up by 1, you don't play the bottom of the 9th. So that would be my only like sabotage factor there. But hopefully the Rays are up big by that time. All right, next up, let's go to the Orioles and the Blue Jays. I kind of mentioned this off the top. The Orioles hit 6 home runs in their opening game. Does the weaponry continue for the Orioles in this game? They're facing off with the Blue Jays again today. Charlie Morton, Kevin Gausman, your starters. We've got the Blue Jays minus 135 home favorites. Am I reading this right? Blue Jays are not good.
I know.
But Kevin Gausman at least is good. So, Jenks, what's the play here?
I was looking at this, and I have to say that I'm just going to take the Orioles at plus money here. Now,
right?
Kevin Gausman is a guy. Yeah. Like, if you can get price is so interesting, particularly in baseball, where, okay, you say, oh, the Dodgers at minus 150. That's a great price for the Dodgers. Best team in baseball by far. But then the Orioles, you can get plus money on the O's. I thought the Orioles yesterday when I was handicapping this game, I thought Orioles might be a small favorite here. Kevin Gausman has looked much better in spring training. Yeah. Like Orioles at plus money. Kevin Gausman at home last season had an ERA over 5. He was 6-6. Now, in spring training, he improved his velocity. He looked a lot better. But until I see it, the Orioles raked against right-handed pitching last season. 2nd in average, 5th in OPS. So if you can get Baltimore plus money, got a win yesterday, yeah, give me that, plus 110.
Yeah, I had to double check this price because
Right?
the Blue Jays are favored here. And I understand that the Orioles don't have the better pitcher in this matchup, but please remember, it is a full game. And this is another trend we saw yesterday. Bullpens blowing games. Paul Skeens had a great start for the Pirates, but what did the bullpen do? They came in and blew the game to the Marlins. So the Blue Jays are still not a team that I'm going to trust. And like we saw in opening day, the Orioles hitters are out for blood already.
Right.
So I feel like that's going to be the play for me because this is a trend we've seen over the last few years. It doesn't even matter if the Orioles have like a quality starter. Like remember last year, we'd be like, oh, Dean Kramer, he has like a 5 ERA. Doesn't matter. The Orioles are going to score 10 runs a game. So I feel like that's going to be the play, especially at plus money. If you can find those plus money teams in baseball, that I feel like is a good strategy over time because obviously those wins count for a little bit more. All right, here's a good one. Braves and Padres. It was a good game yesterday. Maybe we get another good one today. Dylan Cease goes for the Padres. Reynaldo Lopez gets the ball for the Bravos. All right, price on this one. We've got the Braves plus 105, Padres minus 125, and a very low total of 7. So, Jenks, a total, a side, a first 5 bet. Where are you looking here?
You know what I like? I think I'm going to go with the Padres here. Padres first 5 money line is minus 135. So I was hoping I'd get some plus money here because it's the Braves. That didn't happen. That's okay. But Dylan Cease has been on a roll in spring training. He's been on one. He went 5 2/3 scoreless innings against the Reds last weekend. He has pitched 10 scoreless innings over his final 2 starts in the Cactus League. And then lineup-wise, going back to last season, Padres were 10th in Major League Baseball in the first 5. A couple of years ago, the Braves were awesome in the first 5. That wasn't really the case last year. So I'm going to trust Dylan Cease here and go Padres first 5, and it's minus 135.
I think you could make a case for the Padres either in the first 5 or in the full game, because we saw yesterday, even against Chris Sale, the Padres lineup was hitting. And Chris Sale, obviously somebody who won a Cy Young. So if they can do it against him, I think they can do it against Reynaldo Lopez. I understand that everybody talks about the Dodgers in the NL West and how good their lineup is. And of course, it's amazing. But the Padres, their first 5 batters are pretty stacked as well. This is their lineup yesterday. Fernando Tatis Jr. went 3 for 4 yesterday. Luis Ariz, which was a guy that was in the running to hit 350 for a season. Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Jackson Merrill, who was making a charge for National League Rookie of the Year last year. Yuli Gurriel, the pineapple from coming over from the Astros all those years ago. So it just feels like the Padres are one of those teams that if you can get them at minus 130, the Braves have a good lineup too. I will say that. But the starting pitcher edge goes to the Padres in this one. So I think it's a good price on a good team, especially when they're playing at home. I think that one's going to make the card for me, Jenks.
Oh, you know what? Listen to you talk about it. And after going over this yesterday, I think that's going to be on the card for me as well. I'm not going to have a big card today. I was sweating it yesterday. I mean, I'm glad it worked out. I had 6 bets on the card yesterday. Went 3 and 2, so I'll take it. But I don't want to sweat 6 bets, 5 bets over the weekend. So maybe I'll just do baseball, but that's going to make the card for me as well. Let's do it. Squad play.
Yeah. Don't you love that? Like all of that sweat for a 3 and 2 day. Like, was it worth it?
Right. I know. It's like, God, what am I doing? Killing myself. Too old for this.
But like there was a lot going on. So it's not like you pepper the bet, like the board with like a bunch of bets in one sport. It's just we had a lot going on. It was opening day.
Yeah.
All right. So last one, it looks like you had marked was Cubs and Diamondbacks. I didn't get to see this game yesterday because it was so late. We get another late start in this one. Jameson Taillon, Merrill Kelly, the starters here. And over at BetMGM, here are your prices for this game out west. We've got the Cubs plus 110, Diamondbacks minus 130. I feel like these teams are pretty evenly matched. There's no real edge that I think I see here. So, Jenks, what do you think Bettor should know about this game?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. I think this is what I think I'm going to do. I'm still dipping my toe into baseball. But listen, this is something that we bet on last year. And I think until we see differently, those trends can continue into this season. How do you feel about Arizona first 5 money line here? I feel like that would be a great bet.
I feel tepid on it. So like I don't have like a great feeling.
All right. I'll tell you what I think. I
understand they were a great first 5 team last year. I get where you're going with it. But yesterday was a slugfest. Cubs won 10-6. So sell me on the D-backs in the first 5.
All right. I will sell you on the fact that it's Merrill Kelly taking on Jameson Taillon. Now, their splits are pretty similar here. I guess I would not worry about, at least at this point, a 1-game sample size, right? Like it's opening day. I will tend, at least at this point, until we get more games this year or more numbers, metrics, whatever, I'll rely more on a larger sample size from last year. I think Merrill Kelly is a guy who is a better pitcher than Jameson Taillon. Maybe not overly so, but particularly at home. But look at last season. Yesterday, notwithstanding, the Diamondbacks were the second best first 5 team in all of baseball. They trailed only the Dodgers. When playing at Chase Field, number 1 team in all of baseball in the first 5. So you got the hot tub out there in center field. Maybe I'll look for a better price. But Arizona first 5 money line is minus 145. I think you can shop around and find a better price. But the D-backs were awesome in the first 5. And I'm not going to let one game, even though the Cubs are much improved this season, I'm not going to let one game sway me away from that because this was the winner last year.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to play it, you're going to play it. And finally, let's touch a little bit on the Dodgers and the Tigers. This was a great game yesterday. And I felt for Tigers fans because you had your Cy Young winner on the mound. Your lineup was actually hitting. And Blake Snell usually gives the other team an opportunity because he doesn't last long in games. And sometimes he's a little bit wild. But you didn't win that one. So how about now? You've got Jack Flaherty, who is not your ace, but still a pretty good pitcher. Yamamoto going for the Dodgers. And here's the sell on the Tigers. You can get them on the reverse run line, which is they're getting the +1.5. Maybe you just call it the run line for -110. So Jenks, can you make a case for the Tigers here? Or is it just we're not fading the Dodgers because that seems very stupid?
That is my case. I just can't. Like yesterday, I think yesterday would have been a good time to maybe fade the Dodgers just because you had Tariq Skubal on a mound, right? So when you have a guy like that, you think, okay, maybe in the first 5 or over the full game, you got some value there on one of the best pitchers in the game. But here, yeah, maybe you go Dodgers run line, but that's real original from this guy.